Right, hello everybody and welcome to this week's House of Bread video log. We've got a wonderful special guest with us, as well as William Morris from House of Bread, obviously. We've got Sue, who's come to talk to us about her work with a charity called S.C.R.I.P.T. We had a fantastic night on Friday and we'll get to that later. Oh yeah, it was really good. It was great, it was great. Anyway, well, it's lovely to have you here, Sue. So why don't you tell us a little bit about what you do?
S.C.R.I.P.T.
S.C.R.I.P.T.
is a charity set up by my other wonderful brother-in-law. This is one lovely brother-in-law.
Oh, it's in the family.
There's another one.
I see.
And my other lovely brother-in-law set up S.C.R.I.P.T. in 2011 after seeing a film by Paul Merton in 2008. He was going all around India, and there was one episode on Kolkata in particular, the trafficked women and their children. And he was so upset by it, he went straight out to Calcutta and found a night shelter for the young people growing up in the brothels that was closing. And he said, don't close it, I'll fund it. And the charity has grown from there.
Wow, what amazing work. I mean, I've heard a little bit about what goes on over there, and it's off our radar most of the time, I imagine. So how's it developed then over the last few years?
Well, we're still extremely small. We have now, instead of just looking after the night shelter where 5 girls live, there are 11 children from the brothels in residential school just outside Kolkata, but they're still visited by their mothers. And there are 35 ladies who work in a production unit that we've set up. And the charity, S.C.R.I.P.T. in this country, buys all the products they make and tries to sell them.
Okay.
And that
so these
funds
are women
the
who might otherwise have ended up in the sex trade themselves.
Well, sadly, they are in the sex trade. Sadly, they are still in the sex trade, but 4 hours a day they work in dignified circumstances. They wear uniforms, they clock on and off. And it's 4 hours a day because there's 30 odd and only 15 can work at a time. So 15 do the morning shift and 15 do the afternoon shift.
Right. So how can we support this then with these products that are available? Can we find them on the internet, or
you can find them on the internet? But William has a very good idea.
We have a better idea.
We have well, there's two things actually. First of all, there's a very exciting little project everybody can get involved with. We'll come back into that. But Sue's been staying with us for the weekend because she came up all the way from Surrey with her family to our charity dinner. And we've just been having a chat, and I'm thinking, you know, House of Bread have fantastic volunteers, we have resource, we have all sorts of things, and it's something that's clearly close to Sue's heart. And from what I understand in the research I've done, you're right, Joe, it's off the radar. It's something that as a society and as a world, this is totally unacceptable in terms of trafficking and sex trade. So if House of Bread can get involved, it's early days, but I think we'd like to try and get involved.
Well, I'd love that. I mean, it's an incredibly worthwhile thing. It's the potential to transform lives at such a fundamental level. It's got to be worth doing. I mean, making that difference between utter misery and hope. I would imagine.
So there is a practical thing you can do.
Oh, is there?
Yeah,
practical.
look, we've got little tins here.
We've got a wonderful project this year to break the world record for the longest line of coins.
Oh wow! Could I have?
Yeah.
Now I've just thought, because we're not actually on the street, standing outside the post office, we can shake them.
Yes.
We're allowed to. Fill them up, people. Fill them up.
So
there you go.
So when's the dates and all this?
The actual attempt is going to be on the 31st of August, Bank Holiday Monday, and we have calculated that we will need 4.5 million coins.
Wow!
And that would take 80 people 16 hours laying at a rate of knots, like
80 people.
16 hours non-stop. So obviously we need far more than 80 people.
Yeah. And obviously we're hoping that these are going to be pound coins.
As many as possible. But we have calculated that if we had 4.5 million pennies, that would be £46,000.
Wow!
So actually, the other thing is all coins, current or non-current.
Right.
Obviously, current would be good. Foreign coins.
Foreign coins.
Yeah.
So
and definitely old coins, because you might have one old coin that's worth.
Am I right in saying that the details will all be on your Facebook or your website?
They're on Facebook. There's also a special S.C.R.I.P.T worldrecord.com, and that
link will go up somewhere.
So if people are looking at this now, and they'll probably be on their computers, can we put a link via the House of Bread webpage?
Yeah, we'll
or
partner
the
on
House
our
of Bread
website
Facebook
page, and we'll partner on our Facebook. So, and as we hear about the progress towards it, we'll update everybody. So
you are findable. That's really
and of course you can collect your coins in Stafford, which is awesome, isn't it?
Yes.
So there you go.
Well, that's great. That's really. It's nice to hear about something a little bit different compared to the mundane, boring House of Bread stuff we're always banging on about here. But that's fantastic.
Well, thank you for
Lovely to
having
hear
me.
about your inspiration, and it's amazing
Gonna
work
come back
that you're
in a couple
doing.
of months to
Long
see
may it continue.
progress.
Yeah,
Great,
see how
great.
we go.
Lovely.
All right, moving swiftly along. I'm using the swiftly in the loosest sense of the word, as ever. Charity dinner. Let's get on to
Charity dinner,
it.
wow. Well, the charity dinner, thank you so much, everybody who came to the charity dinner. I can tell you that on the night we took just over £2,000, but I would hope that we may be able to double that. So next week, when we've got our other special guest with us, we'll have the final total.
The grand total next
But I
week,
do really want
okay.
to thank everybody who came along because it was tremendous. It was a fun evening.
It was a fun evening, yeah.
And yeah, we're really excited. So
It was thoroughly
watch the vlog
enjoyable.
next week for the final total.
Nice piece of chicken, good food,
It
good
was,
company,
yeah.
wine,
We'll
dancing.
name check all the people who were involved next week because I really want to thank them. Seriously, it's been a great fun thing.
Well, if
And,
you missed out, make sure you come along to the next one.
yeah, we
'cause it
might
was-
be able to cut
it
in
was
some,
fab.
some dancing and other stuff
Yes.
on this vlog.
We do know that somebody took some video,
Yeah.
Jack.
And for a small
Jack,
fee, we won't
text
show
him
it.
now. Text him and get it now. Anyway, if there is some video, it'll be cut on here.
Any minute now.
And if there wasn't any video, I'll look a bit silly. But wasn't that great, everybody? Oh, look at that. It looked like a lot of fun, didn't it?
Got a good.
There's definitely pictures.
Cool.
Okay, great. So here's me I'm not fiddling with my phone again. Prayer at Hob. Oh, yes,
Oh,
these prayer boxes. Don't
now
they
look,
look lovely?
Joe,
Aren't
this
they
is very
pretty?
exciting. This is Nicole, you may have mentioned on our
The
last
old
vlog. Jeanne,
Good little post
who
box.
is coordinating our prayer support, prayer requests, basically these boxes will be turning up at every House of Bread event. And along with that, there'll be some paper and a pencil or two. And for anybody who would like to offer some focused prayer, then the objective really is to pop it in there. And then we will, as a group, collectively, which is expanding, so thank you very much for that, we will take those and we will pray over those particular needs. You can also email at prayer@hobstafford.co.uk and that will go straight to Jeanne's inbox. And again, it's a really beautiful way of underpinning all the work that we do with prayer, which for us of faith, that's really, really important. But they are beautiful, aren't they?
They're lovely,
work of art,
really
so
nicely made.
You'll see them at the Hob venues, guys.
Thank you very much for doing
thank
those.
you, Nicole.
You know, we all believe that prayer is, like you said, it's laying a solid
Yeah.
foundation, isn't it? And we can all tell stories about how
Yeah.
prayer's transformed
Absolutely.
lives that we've seen. So even if you're not a believer, I think sometimes we tend to think, well, can't be any harm in asking for some prayer. It offers comfort at least, doesn't it?
It does, yeah.
Fundraising.
Yes.
Bagpack, 27th of Feb. It's
27th
coming
of
up.
Feb.
The big bagpack.
If you want to be part of that team, you could contact us in the usual way. That's Facebook, Twitter, website, or events@hobstafford.co.uk.
It's very pro now,
Be part
isn't it,
of
with the
team. What
emails?
was the date, Joe? Was that the 20th?
That was the 27th of Feb
27th
at
of
Asda.
Yeah, so we need people for that team. So if you'd like to get involved, then just contact us and find out. If you don't already know what a bagpack is all about, then you can get all the detail.
I guess we'll do a schedule, won't we? And people will have
yeah,
their
and all
time
these
slots.
dates will be on the website diary as well, and we'll be Facebooking diary. So there's no way that you won't know about it if you want to get involved.
Okay,
Yeah.
great, good. Moving along. Trinity Cafe dates,
Yes.
27th of June and 15th of August.
I know this is way ahead, but our dear friends,
Be part of the team.
yeah, Anne and Jan, I have to be very careful, Anne and Jan, who are Trinity Cafe team, again, it's events@hobstafford.co.uk, and they're going to be driving these events at Trinity Cafe, which is the church in the middle of town opposite Wilkinson's, and we'll be there on those 2 Saturdays that you mentioned, and we'll be starting probably offering cakes and other goodies. It's a fundraiser, so come, prepared to buy your coffee and maybe make a small donation.
What sort of event is it?
Well, it's
Apart from
basically, bring
selling
it.
some
It's a
cake.
cake. It's objects. We've got books. We've got all sorts of bric-a-brac. But the idea is to come and hear about House of Bread during the day, because so often our activity is out of normal hours or in an environment where actually Joe Public wouldn't be able to access information about us. So we'll be there. There'll be a team there. Jeanne will probably be there.
So you can come along and do some shopping. There's
can
gonna
come and
be-
do- yeah,
I remember
yeah.
when House of Bread were in town, and some of those
Yeah.
cakes and jams were homemade and
All
were,
homemade.
oh my goodness,
It's all fantastic.
absolutely
Yeah,
delicious.
yeah, fantastic. All be homemade cakes. So Jan and Anne, as 2 special people.
We should push it as a bake sale as
Yes.
well,
Ooh,
because
good
people
idea.
do
Well,
like
we've
to
got
come
time.
along
I'm
and
just giving heads up for diary. I just
Heads
want
up,
to
ladies
show
and
you how
gentlemen.
impressed we are
Heads
with
up.
our dates.
put it in your diary now. That's
any other
pretty
dates
cool,
there?
isn't it? Well, it was the 27th of June. It's going to be awesome. People will be flocking from miles around, Jack. Listen
There
to the
will be
rap. Well,
cakes.
there will be cakes now. We've got several months to sort it
yeah.
out, so there will be. Right, where are we? Where are we up to? Town centre events. Want to be a part of the team? Alison Cunningham is organising some town centre event.
Again, a opportunity to purchase items. Dexter will be there, Alicia, if you're around.
There'll be some trouble there
and
then.
it's the general public understanding what we do, and I hope bringing them with us, because as you know, Joe, it's contentious work, and we want Stafford to embrace us. So the town centre for us is a window, basically, a shop window.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So what was the date of that again? Some of these are a bit far ahead to plan, aren't they? But we'll keep mentioning them.
Not if you've got a diary for 2015.
Oh, it doesn't actually say the date. But Alison Cunningham, she'll be organising them.
Yeah,
Keep
it's
up
in
to
a couple
date
of
on the
months'
Facebook pages. Anyway, we've got a special guest next week.
Yeah.
Who's actually lurking around outside, but he's just come to have a look. There's another member of the audience who you couldn't see because he's out there. Michael Bolt will be telling us about his life and his involvement with House of Bread.
Which is quite a special story, so I'm very delighted he can come and share.
Look forward to that.
Yeah, it'll be very good. So I'm looking forward to that, because he actually owns the vehicle. You may see it around town.
That's what was next on the agenda. Yes, there is a proper mobile.
Yeah, what are we calling it? We're calling it the Hobmobile, and it's a branded sort of like a people carrier, and it's got House of Bread very clearly in pink all over it, so you can't miss it. But if you see it, honk your horn.
Or you could do a thing. You remember those old-fashioned ice cream sellers pedalling around on their bikes? Stop me and buy one. You could just flag them down and give a donation.
Yeah, throw the
Stop me and donate one.
He'd be delighted. I'm sure he'd be delighted.
Yeah. You won't be able to get anywhere.
But it's good.
Pulling
it's
over
good,
all the
it's
time.
visual. He's a real blessing, and it's a really lovely story. So
we'll look forward to speaking to him
with
next
us.
week.
I'm very excited. Yeah.
Well, it's been really lovely to have you here, Sue.
thank you,
It's
Sue.
nice to have added an extra dimension.
You come all the way.
Yeah.
Come all the way. Special guest.
Special
Michael will be wanting
guest.
to do that next week. But all the way from Surrey.
All the way from Surrey.
On a really, really exciting, good cause. Don't forget your cause.
Brilliant cause.
And, there will be more in terms of association, I do hope, going forward. I've got to speak to their head man.
Yes.
It's very scary.
Yes.
Shall
we wrap it up?
Yes, why not, Joe?
I like to end as ever with what I like to call a parable of modern life. He's off again already. It doesn't take much to start you off, does it, Will? I could say anything, couldn't I? I could just tell a story about something really horrendous, and Will would just be sitting there giggling in anticipation. But now, but like I was saying about feeling a little bit cut off and isolated from things like this. Sometimes we're quite cosseted, aren't we? Well, there was one man in particular who was more cosseted than he would like to be, more closed off than he'd like to be. He was stranded on a desert island, and he'd been there for years. Well, one day, finally, at last, a ship spotted him, spying through the glasses. There, they saw 3 huts on this island that looked otherwise completely uninhabited, and just one of the huts had some smoke coming out of it. There's somebody on there, said the ship's captain. So they went over to explore and find out what was going on, and the man came running out. Thank goodness you're here. I've been stuck on this island for years. And the captain said, well, where's everybody else? I mean, there are 3 huts and only you. And he said, oh, no, that's they're just me. I mean, this one here, this is where I live, the one with the smoke. And the captain said, well, what's that other hut there? And he said, well, that's where I go to church. And he said, well, what's this other hut here then, this third one? And he said, oh, that's where I used to go to church.
Oh, very good.
With an apology. Thank you very much. Thanks to Jack for that one this week. See you next time.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
I think we've got an audience here today.
Yes.
Actually, you don't know this, do you? Look, I'm just going to turn this camera around a sec. Look, it'll be all blurry and out of focus. This is so unprofessional. Look. Audience, actual, real, live people. Hello, here's Jeanne. There she is.
I've nipped across the room.
And here are some other beautiful family members recovering from their boogieing. And there's Jack, who's always lurking in the background, who now needs to come and check the camera to make sure that it's focused on the sofa, which it probably isn't now.